Okay, so Gloria Borger, right? She's been kind of MIA from CNN lately. And the internet, well, they've got theories, lots of them. I mean, she's like a total CNN heavyweight, political analysis. She's got it down. So yeah, when she's gone, you notice it. And that's what we're doing today, a deep dive. You guys sent us stuff, Reddit threads, a YouTube video, even a whole article. And it's all about Borger, her weight loss, and yeah, the health stuff everyone's talking about.
True, and gotta remember, not everything you see online is legit,
Yeah.
You pointed out some Reddit stuff, which sometimes those threads can be smart, but they also get kind of wild with the rumors.
For sure. Like one comment, it got deleted, but it basically said, Borger's weight loss, it's either cancer or Ozempic. Like, whoa, hold up a sec.
Exactly, that's why we can't just go by social media whispers.
Yeah.
Especially with something as serious as someone's health.
Right, and then another user was all, Borger's got breast cancer, but zero proof, nothing to back it up. Makes you think, gotta double check those sources before you hit share. But good news is you also sent us some stuff that's, well, more legit.
Totally, yeah. There's this YouTube video from Healthy Beast. They're saying Borger's down 66 pounds and she's, 70 now? And here's the thing. Borger's saying it's because of a whole lifestyle change she made while she was recovering from cancer.
Whoa, wait, 70? That article you mentioned from We Got This Covered, the one about her career, that said she's 72. So does that mean there's more to this weight loss thing than we thought?
You're right, that age thing, it does make you wonder. Oh. And yeah, the video talks about lifestyle changes and cancer recovery, but it doesn't, give us all the details.
Okay, so we've got Borger, cancer, and some kind of health journey happening, but it's all kind of vague. Maybe that We Got This Covered piece can fill in some blanks.
Worth a shot. If you want to understand Borger's career, that article's great. From CBS to CNBC, then CNN, she's done it all. And always covering the big political stuff right there in the action.
Talk about a rock star. There's this part in the article that says she went from CBS to CNBC, even though CNBC had way fewer viewers. And she said it was because she wanted a bigger challenge professionally. Makes you think, right? Is chasing a huge audience always the right move? Maybe it's more about finding work that pushes you, that makes your career fulfilling.
That's a good point, yeah. Borger's clearly someone who cares more about substance than just, being popular, taking risks, growing professionally. That's her thing.
Totally. It's like a testament to who she is. Driven, values-driven, not afraid of the hard stuff. And it looks like We Got This Covered took that same approach to these weight loss rumors. Yeah, they mentioned how she was gone from CNN for a year, which obviously got people talking. But they're like, hey, let's respect her privacy. And they even point out that the same Reddit user who mentioned the 66-pound weight loss was also saying, hey, let's not speculate about her health. It's like caring and being curious is cool, but everyone deserves their boundaries, right?
Definitely. It's tricky,
Yeah.
We're interested in public figures. It's natural, especially when big life changes happen. But remembering they deserve privacy, that's huge.
Absolutely. So we've got Borger, big weight loss, probably from lifestyle changes during cancer recovery, and maybe something else. But the exact details, those are hers.
You got it. And as much as we might want to, put it all together and solve the mystery, we got to admit, some parts of her story are hers to tell. Or not. It's her call.
Well put. But that doesn't mean we can't learn from what we do know. What stands out to you about her career and how she's handled these rumors?
Her resilience. That's what hits me. Challenges, both in her career and personally, she's tackled them head on and come out stronger. She's someone who owns her story.
And she's all about balance, isn't she? Professional growth, her own well-being. She makes tough choices and sticks to them.
That's so important. You're right. Borger's story is like a reminder that life's about choices. And sometimes the best way forward is to take a risk, to focus on what truly matters.
Totally. And it makes you think, what can we learn from her, from how dedicated she is to a balanced life, both for our bodies and our minds? Maybe there's something in her story that can inspire us to make positive changes too.
I think there's a lot to unpack there. But before we do, let's circle back to this whole Ozempic thing. Remember that deleted Reddit comment? Now that we're seeing the bigger picture, maybe there's more to it.
Ooh, now this is getting interesting. Ozempic, it's that medication for type 2 diabetes, right? But it's been all over the news lately because it makes people lose weight. Could that be part of Borger's transformation?
It's a great question and brings a whole new layer to this.
Yeah.
But let's not jump ahead. Let's stick with the sources and see what we find. So yeah, about Ozempic, it's been everywhere lately. Doctors are talking about it. It's in the news. It's kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. miracle weight loss drug, right? That's what they're calling it. But isn't it mainly for people with type 2 diabetes?
Yeah, you're right. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
But during these studies they were doing, they noticed something. People taking it were losing a ton of weight. And that's kind of where things get, well, complicated.
Yeah, I can see that. Suddenly it's not just about changing your lifestyle. It's like medicine is getting involved. And that brings up a whole bunch of other questions, right?
Exactly. Like, ethically, is it okay to use a drug for something other than what it was made for? And then there's the long-term effects. What does that look like? And it kind of makes you rethink this whole idea of weight loss and personal responsibility, you know?
Yeah. Whoa. Those are some heavy questions. And to be honest, they're a bit beyond what we're doing today. We're not here to debate Ozempic or get into medical ethics or anything, but it's definitely something to think about, as you're looking into all this stuff.
Totally agree. But what we can do is bring it back to Gloria Borger. Remember, we're trying to figure out her story. And Ozempic being mentioned, it just adds another layer to it.
It makes you wonder, right? Could Ozempic be part of how she transformed? We know about the healthier lifestyle stuff after cancer, but is there something else going on too?
It's possible, for sure. And if it is, it means we might need to rethink this idea that weight loss is all about willpower and choices.
Right, exactly. It opens up this whole other conversation about medical stuff, what people choose to do, and how we deal with health issues when everyone's looking for a quick fix.
And that's why we can't just jump to conclusions. We don't know everything about Borger's journey, and we need to respect that.
You're right. It's not our place to guess about what she's doing or her medical choices, but we can definitely learn from the bigger picture here.
For sure. And one of those things, like we've been talking about, is how important a holistic approach to well-being is. It's not just about how much you weigh, it's your mind, your emotions, your body. It's all connected.
Yeah, it's about being resilient, finding that balance, and making choices that fit with who you are and what you want. And sometimes that might mean getting help from doctors, looking at different options, and realizing that there's no magic solution for everyone.
That's a good point. I think that's something we can all take away from this. Borger's story, even with the parts we don't know, it makes us think about our own health journeys, to be open to different things, and remember that everyone's path is different.
And speaking of paths, what about Borger's career? We talked about her going from CBS to CNBC. But I'm curious, what do you think about her impact as a journalist overall? I mean, she's covered some huge stories. She's got to have some amazing insights.
That's a good point. It's easy to focus on the personal stuff,
Yeah.
but her work as a journalist, that's important too.
Yeah, for decades, she's been a big voice in political analysis, shaping how people talk about things, informing people about what's really going on.
And you know what sets her apart? She can cut through all the BS and give you smart commentary, even when everything's crazy. She's not afraid to ask tough questions, to challenge what people think, to hold those in power accountable.
She's amazing at explaining complex political stuff. Like, she breaks it down so anyone can understand. She's not just reporting, she's helping people make sense of it all.
And that is so important now with all the information overload and bias in the media. It's hard to know what's true and what's not. But Borger, she's got that journalistic integrity, she's sharp, she's witty, and she connects with people. That's why millions trust her. She's the real deal.
It's inspiring, right, to see someone dedicate their career to informing people and getting them to talk about the important stuff.
It really is. And I think it shows us how crucial responsible journalism is in a democracy. We need people like Borger. Informed, insightful, always searching for the truth. They help us understand this crazy world.
For sure. And it makes you think, what about journalism in our own lives? How do we stay informed? Who do we trust? How can we be part of a society that's more informed and engaged?
Those are questions worth thinking about. And as we head into the last part of our deep dive, I think it's important to keep those questions in mind. We've looked at Borger's personal journey, her amazing career, and the bigger themes in her story. But in the end, the most important things are the ones that make us think about our own lives, our values, and how we shape the world around us.
That's such a good reminder. We can get so caught up in someone else's story that we forget to connect it back to our own experiences and what we want.
It's like we're peeking into someone else's world. But the real magic happens when we look inward and use what we've learned to light up our own paths.
I love that. It's not just about watching someone else's journey. It's about taking the themes and insights that speak to us and using them to grow and change ourselves.
Exactly. And as we move to the last part of our deep dive, I'm excited to see what new connections we make as we go even deeper into what Borger's story means and how it relates to our own lives. What stands out to you as we wrap up this part of our exploration?
So wow, we've really gone deep with Gloria Borger, haven't we?
Yeah, it's amazing. Started with those questions about why she was gone and the weight loss, and now we're talking about her whole career and what's going on with health and wellness these days.
It's crazy how one question can spiral out like that. And it makes you realize with these public figures, there's always more to the story, right?
Totally. We see them on TV and think we know them. But there's all this stuff happening behind the scenes, choices they're making, struggles they're going through. We don't see any of that.
That's so true. And I think that's one of the big takeaways from today. Remembering that everyone's life is complex, even when we only see a tiny part of it.
For sure. It's
Yeah.
like trying to put together a puzzle with some pieces missing.
Exactly. And that's okay. It's about the journey, asking questions, and knowing there's always more to discover.
Right. And it reminds us to be both skeptical and curious about what we see and hear. Just because it's online or on the news doesn't mean it's the whole truth.
You gotta use those critical thinking skills, look at the sources, consider different sides, and come to your own conclusions based on the evidence.
And that's what Gloria Borger does so well as a journalist, right? She's not just throwing facts at you, she's breaking them down, putting them in context, helping people understand all the little details of these big political issues.
She's a pro, that's for sure. She asks the hard questions, challenges what everyone thinks, and always brings something new to the table.
And it's not just that she's smart and knows her stuff. She connects with people, She's relatable, she's got that wit, and she makes even those complicated things seem easy to understand.
Totally. It's like she proves you can be super intelligent and still be down to earth, engaging, and yeah, even funny.
That's a good lesson, especially now with all the information overload and opinions flying around. We need more voices like hers, voices that teach us and keep us interested, that make us think critically, but also remind us that we're all human.
So well said. It really makes you think, what kind of impact do we want to have? How can we be part of a world that's more informed, more engaged, more compassionate? Maybe it's through our work, our relationships, or just how we treat each other.
Those are important questions to ask ourselves. As we wrap up, think about what really stood out to you today. What made you curious? What made you question what you thought you knew? And what will you take with you as you move forward on your own journey?
I love that. We've learned so much today, looked at some really interesting stuff, and hopefully sparked some new thoughts and perspectives.
Absolutely. If there's one thing we want you to remember, it's this. Stay curious, stay engaged, keep exploring. There's always something new to discover, to learn, to connect with.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep digging.